Josh Allen put up a season last year, finished as quarterback number one, 396 completions, 572 attempts, 4,544 yards, threw 37 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions. Also used his legs quite a bit, 102 rush attempts, 421 yards for 8 touchdowns on the ground. Guys, your thoughts on Josh Allen?
QB1, man. He has the easiest path to repeat at QB1, I think, as any quarterback in the NFL, even probably an easier path than Mahomes, because Allen will run the ball a bit more. They don't have a running game. They don't really seem to like using their running game. I think if you're drafting him and he's not the first or second quarterback off the board, you're playing with a bunch of guys who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, make sure that's a money league.
No doubt, right? Like the path is there. The path is just there. So I like Josh Allen. If he can continue to keep his completion percentage high and possibly even improve it, that's even better for the Buffalo Bills. Those 8 touchdowns, even if it backs down to 6, I think you're still right there because of the extra game that they're playing this season anyway. Like you could see Josh Allen flirt with 5,000 yards passing in a season. Like I think you can see him flirt with that. And if everything holds up from last season and the consistency, you're looking at 40, maybe just over 40 passing touchdowns. So hell yeah, QB1, guys. Like if you're wanting to draft a quarterback early, he's definitely right there at the top of the list.
I had him as QB2 behind Mahomes, who we'll talk about later. But that's strictly only because he just didn't have as many weapons as, he is his own weapon when it comes to fantasy football for him and his stats. But Kevin, you brought up a fun thing that I think we should go around the room with here. What's more likely this year, Josh Allen throwing for 5,000 yards or rushing for 500?
Yeah, give me the 500.
Rushing for 500.
Yeah. I think there's too much variable, and there's no one there to take the carries away from him. There's so much variable in the passing game.
You guys were a lot more convicted in that than I thought you would be, because just given his stats. But yeah, I think I would lean towards rushing for 500 yards as well.
5,000 yards passing just seems like
it's a daunting task. Yeah, it's a lot. But that's where it's at. And yes, Josh Allen, I think you would be happy with him. I remember people thinking, it was going into last year that there were a lot of expectations put on him with how much he would run the football and throw, and he lived up to it. So I've got no reason to think anything different going into this season.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right there. And, it's one of those, if he kind of lives up to that bill of, if a quarterback is going to run the ball, rush the ball over 100 times, he's going to have a great fantasy finish. And that was something that we knew going into last year. We were proven a little different thoughts that I think everybody had on him through the course of the season than what we had entering the season, where, it turns out he can complete passes at a high clip, right? Like this was the guy that people were doubting that, could he take the next step because of the fact that, he had a hard time getting to 58% pass completion. And last year finished just below a 70% pass completion there as well.